Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney here on this Friday, April 22nd, this Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. We'll be talking more about that in a little bit. Thank you for being here with me for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Here on 3 News Now, we talk about the stories that matter most to you. We know these stories matter most to you because these are the stories that you are clicking on, reading, and sharing from our website and from our app. And we start off with a disturbing update that we need to give you because bond has been set at $200,000 for a Highland High School teacher who is accused of having sexual conduct with a student. That teacher is Kyle Brooks, a teacher at Highland High School in Medina County. He was arrested on Thursday after accusations came out of him engaging in inappropriate sexual conduct with a student. His first court appearance was today. It was a brief hearing at Medina Municipal Court, which we did stream. You can see that on WKYC.com. When asked if he could address the issue of bond, putting up some money in order to be released, the judge said it would be discussed further on 2 future occasions, the preliminary hearing and when he is formally arraigned in the Medina County Court of Common Pleas. Those dates yet to be set. You can see what was streamed again on WKYC.com. Now, in the entertainment world, there are accusations that have been reported against Bill Murray. He's been accused of inappropriate behavior, and it stopped his latest movie production. Now, when we say the phrase inappropriate behavior, that could mean a lot of things. We don't know what that means. This has happened allegedly on the set of the newest Aziz Ansari movie called Being Mortal. And there it's reported that a memo was sent out to production staff this week. Now, the accusation against him was made sometime last week, according to reports, and production was stopped on Monday. The decision to stop production was made until the investigation into his actions could be complete. It's Aziz Ansari who is writing, directing, and starring in the film. He was not named in the complaint, according to multiple reports, and neither was Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is the other big name that is signed on to the movie. Again, that movie is Being Mortal. Now, as I said, the specifics about the complaint against Murray are not known, but this is not the first time that he has been accused of inappropriate behavior on set. What we do know is that while filming the 2000 movie Charlie's Angels, Murray was accused of shouting insults at co-star Lucy Liu after a scene was rewritten and he apparently didn't have knowledge of the rewrites. It was last year, after more than 20 years of being silent about the issue, that Lucy Liu spoke up and called his behavior inexcusable and unacceptable. Again, we are not sure what the nature of these allegations against Bill Murray are at this time. It's a developing story. As we get more information, of course, we'll bring it to you. Now, as Russia continues to attack Ukraine and seems to be focusing now on the eastern region of Ukraine, in the Donbas region, we know that many world powers have put out sanctions against Russia with major economic consequences for the country. Well, now private businesses are also pulling out of Russia in order to show that they oppose this war in Ukraine. Some of the retail companies that are pulling out: Adidas has cut a partnership with the Russian Football Union. Nike has suspended online sales to Russia, saying they can't guarantee delivery in the isolated country. Puma has also stopped delivering new supplies to Russian stores. And although Reuters does report that there are 100 stores within the country that remain open, H&M, which is the world's second largest clothing retailer, said that all sales in Russia would be temporarily suspended. Now, on the financial front, there have been many financial sanctions levied against Russia, but we now know that Visa and MasterCard have both blocked financial institutions in Russia from their networks. This is after government sanctions dropped on Russian banks following the invasion into Ukraine. CNBC reports that they would block multiple financial institutions, but didn't name specific banks or individuals that are being blocked by Visa and MasterCard. And on Sunday, March 6th, this was quite some time ago, American Express announced it would suspend operations in Russia as well in Russia's ally of Belarus. In the tech front, Google is suspending all advertising in Russia under citing the extraordinary circumstances. Apple has stopped selling iPhones and other devices inside Russia and has blocked RT News and Sputnik News downloads from his app store outside of Russia. And computer maker Dell Technologies has also suspended sales in Russia. Microsoft also recently announcing that it suspended new sales in Russia of its products and services. There's a growing list on WKYC.com. You can check that out to see which retailers have decided to pull out of Russia on the private business front. Now, in the sports world, the NCAA has announced infractions involving 3 sports programs at The Ohio State University. Those 3 sports programs include the women's golf, fencing, and the women's basketball programs. That's fencing overall, and then women's golf and women's basketball. Here are the things that have been occurring that the NCAA has found. Ineligible participation as a result of multiple recruiting and extra benefit violations. That was in women's basketball and in fencing. The fencing program exceeding maximum allowable countable coaches. A countable athletically related activities violation for women's golf and women's basketball. Head coach responsibility violation and ethical conduct violation for the former head fencing coach, and a head coach responsibility violation for the former director of golf. Now, these violations are said to have occurred between 2015 and 2019. So as a result, the Department of Athletics is being placed on 4 years probation and fined $5,000. That probation will end April 18th, 2026. There are also additional penalties which will require vacating team wins and championships and individual records. You can see those broken down on WKYC.com. But here's one of the most severe punishments, sanctions that the NCAA can put out there. A 10-year show cause penalty. So a show cause penalty in general, but this is a 10-year show cause penalty for the former head fencing coach and the former associate head women's basketball coach. So what is a show cause penalty? Well, this requires that a school hiring or continuing to employ a coach to detail to the NCAA how it will monitor that coach if that coach has had infractions like these ones. And if a coach is working under a show cause order and that coach then commits further NCAA rules violations, the organization will have more severe punishments than they otherwise would have if it were a first instance of violating these kinds of rules. So these penalties go to the individual, not to the school. They go to the coaches. And that can make a coach effectively unhireable in a situation like this. In a news release, the Ohio State University Department of Athletics said that the university had initially self-reported the violations with the fencing program in August of 2018, and then it was during that investigation that the NCAA found these other violations in the women's basketball and the women's golf programs. In other sports news, the NFL draft is next week. It's happening in Las Vegas. No, the Browns don't have a first-round pick, but they have second and third-round picks, at least for now. You never know what can happen on the day of or in the midst of the NFL draft. Things can get a little bit wild. But we do now know that WWE superstar Mike "The Miz" Mizanin will be representing the Cleveland Browns at the 2022 NFL draft, and he is definitely a hometown favorite. He's from Parma. He was recently on Dancing with the Stars. I got the opportunity to talk with him on my 3 Things to Know podcast. You can find that on WKYC.com. He was definitely a lot of fun to talk to. And he's going to be joined by Titus O'Neil, who will be supporting his hometown, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's what The Miz said, and this was a statement that was released through WWE. He said, "I am thrilled to head to Las Vegas to represent my hometown Cleveland Browns at the NFL Draft. As someone who grew up a huge Browns fan, the opportunity to play a small part in the future of the franchise is a dream come true. This is going to be awesome." Here's a little bit about The Miz. He's a 2-time WWE champion. He's 41 years old. He started at Normandy High School. He captained the boys basketball and cross-country teams. And now he'll be in Vegas representing the Browns, cheering on the Browns, hyping up the Browns as they go into those second and third round draft picks. Now, here's something that's on a lot of people's mind. Student loan forgiveness. You know that student loan repayment for federal loans was expected to restart here in the month of May, but it's been pushed back now to August 31st. So people have some questions about it. And with this pushback of that start again for paying the federal loans, it's bringing up the promise that President Joe Biden made on the campaign trail to cancel at least $10,000 of student loan debt for every student loan federal loan holder. Well, several congressional members have publicly called for him to go a step further and cancel a bigger chunk. Here's what we know right now. Okay, the pause on student loan payments, it doesn't apply to private student loans. It applies to federal student loans. President Biden has said that widespread student loan forgiveness needs to go through Congress, but some congressional Democrats are telling him, do it by executive order. They don't think that that's necessarily required that it go through Congress. They believe that President Biden has the authority to cancel a big chunk by executive order. And the president did pledge on the campaign trail to forgive $10,000 in student loans for every borrower. Congressional Democrats are proposing canceling $50,000 for each student. Neither of those have happened yet. I would know if they did because I have federal student loans. Now, the Biden administration has already forgiven $16 billion in student debt. This is for 680,000 borrowers. But here's the thing. These are people who were in programs that were in place before his presidency began. So there was a lot of red tape, a lot of things getting kind of messed up in the bureaucracy that prevented these people who should have been able to go forward with these loan cancellation plans to be able to do so. So he was making good on already existing programs. This is not something that he initiated or not a new program from the Biden administration. Now, speaking of student loans, something that I am doing over the course of a year, and I'm 15 weeks in now, is I am playing the Powerball lottery in hopes of coming up with a windfall to help pay off my student loans. It's because it's part of my New Year's resolution to work on paying down my student loan debt, which is significant. Caveat here, you shouldn't gamble to pay down debt. This is just a bonus thing that I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to see if it really pays to play the Powerball. So my latest results came in on Wednesday, week 15. I went to a Lucky Lottery store in Westlake where they had signs all over the place of people who had won a significant amount of money at that store. But I am not one of those people. I live streamed it on my Instagram. You can find that at _Stephanie Haney, and I have a blog going on WKYC.com that is documenting the whole thing, also doing it on my Twitter page. You can't miss it. If you're following me on social media, you definitely can't miss it because we're talking about it a lot. 4 weeks now. 4 weeks in a row where I have not matched a single Powerball number. Now, I don't know what the odds are on a stretch like that for not matching a number, but I will tell you this. My gut tells me hopefully I'm due for a change in the winds of luck pretty soon, and I'll match maybe a couple numbers here and win a prize. I know the odds of winning any prize in the Powerball lottery are 1 in 38, so if you do that math, 38 weeks takes me into September, so I might not win even $4 until September. We'll see what happens, but we're going to continue to stick with it week after week. I'm trying to hit up different Lucky Lottery stores. So if you have one that you want to recommend, let me know, and I will try and grab my Powerball ticket there. Now today, as I said, we would talk about Earth Day in a bit. With it being Earth Day, the Today Show wanted to break a Guinness World Record, and they did it today in honor of Earth Day. So what did they want to do? They wanted to have the most people watering a plant simultaneously in various places around the country. So here were the rules. 1 plant or tree per person, 1 water can per person, a minimum of 250 people in 5 venues, and watering these plants for a minimum of 10 seconds. What happened? They absolutely crushed it. Our Carmen Blackwell was part of it, and 799 people watered plants simultaneously on the Today Show this morning. So they crushed the Guinness World Record for that. Carmen was at Borax Landing in Eastlake. You can see it. We streamed it on WKYC.com if you want to check out that video. And with it being Earth Day, you know, this is the 52nd anniversary of Earth Day. People are really taking a look at how we can mitigate the effects of climate change on the Earth today specifically. This year's Earth Day theme is Invest in Our Planet, which is a good idea because as of right now, it's the only planet we have, and it would be a good idea for us to take care of it, not only for ourselves, but for the many, many generations that we hope will come after we are no longer here on this planet. So if you're looking for a way to celebrate Earth Day, we've got a list of some places in Northeast Ohio that have cool stuff going on. For example, the Cleveland Metro Parks is having an Earth Day hike. The Cuyahoga Valley National Park is asking people to celebrate Earth Day by helping them remove invasive plants. The Gorge Metro Park cleanup is happening in Cuyahoga Falls. Habitat for Humanity's Summit County is doing a recycling event. All kinds of things, all kinds of ways that you can get involved and show our planet Earth a little extra love today on Earth Day. All right, that is it for your 3 News Now update today for Friday, April 22nd on this Earth Day. You know that we are looking at a beautiful weekend, so I hope that you're able to get outside, enjoy some of that sunshine, because I don't know about you, but for me, it is an instant mood booster, and we are looking at 70 and 80 degree weather this weekend, and that is very, very good news. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Not tomorrow, excuse me, Monday, for more 3 News Now.